All right. Good evening, everybody. It's Freight Broker 101 training for beginners. Let's do a quick stop in here for a small brief Q&A. See if anyone have any questions, any concerns um, about freight brokering. Freight Broker 101 training for beginners. Okay. It's been a while since I've been on this side. I've been mainly on the dispatcher side, but tonight I'm on the freight broker side to answer any questions, see where you guys are in the process of applying for your freight broker license, your broker authority. Are you filling out your OP1 form? Are you applying for the authority? Are you getting your business license? What steps are you doing to get your broker authority up and running? Have you finished the process with the OP1 form, with the 4 of 8 sections on the OP1 form? Have you completed that part, paid the $300 with the fmcsa.dot.gov website? And then next, with the 90-day process, 10 of which are protested by someone who wants to protest the fact that you've applied for an operating authority. And then after that, have you been looking for a bond company? Are the insurance usually so high? Well, the insurance, as far as the bond, Samantha, or as far as the extra insurance that you're going to get, as far as like contingent cargo or errors and omissions, things of that nature. Insurance, the quotes and the premiums are given out based off of your personal credit score and other factors on your personal side. Because you just started a freight broker business, you haven't had an opportunity to build business credit. So they're going off of your personal scores, particularly with the bond. If you are looking for bond companies, I'm not sure what you've been quoted for a bond or other insurance quotes from the companies that you've chosen. What insurance companies have you gotten quotes from, and what were their annual premiums? That'd be a good question for me to ask you. So are you doing the surety bond, the trust fund, which is the BMC 84 for the surety bond, and the BMC 85 for the trust fund? Most people are doing the BMC 84. So Matthew Smith, yes, you can ask a question, please. Mr. Smith has a question. While we're waiting on Mr. Smith's question, I can finish up the bond point that I was making for Samantha. BMC 84 or BMC 85. And then after that, you have to file with that. So, and then the designation of a process agent, you have to designate that. They have to file the BOC 3. Okay. So, so that's a BOC 3, and you have to do all this within 90 days. Once you get those things filed with the FMCSA by those specific companies, then they will make a decision as to grant you your broker license. In the meantime, you also have to do your own UCR. So, Samantha, what insurance are you looking to get? What insurance companies are you referring to? So I just need to hear that from you so I can decide how to answer that question a little bit more specifically. Okay. And where are you guys at in the in your broker process? Have you started the process of getting your business up and running? Get your business license in place, LLC, EIN, things of that nature. Have you started the process of filling out the OP1 form, applying for a broker of property, except household goods type of operating authority? Have you began the process of looking for your bond, and have you began the process of looking for your process agent? And then also your UCR, and then any extra insurance. So those are the things that are the requirements for a broker license. And then after you get the license, now, where do you go as far as shippers? How do you get shippers? What do you say? And even prior to that, setting up your back office infrastructure as far as your TMS systems, load boards, any integrations with that, as far as your packet types, because as a broker, as a freight broker, a logistics provider, someone who arranges for the transportation of freight, you have two customers. You have a customer who is the actual shipper, and then you have the carriers who are also your customers. So you need to set up two packet types, a broker shipper packet and a broker carrier packet. And what are the contents of those, right? You need to make sure that you have your contents in your broker shipper packet correct, with your broker shipper agreement and everything else you need in that. And then on your broker carrier packet, the contents of that will be your broker carrier agreement and other things in that. So you need to understand what that is if you're going to broker effectively. And then how do you market yourself? How do you market? How do you leverage the fact that you are trying to provide a service to the shippers? Understanding the market, what's going on right now with the containers that are left at the ports right now. Things are paused as far as freight coming in, but there's still freight in the country that's moving. So you can still arrange to speak to shippers and try to move their freight. So these are the questions that you will probably ask yourself as a freight broker, as someone who arranges for the transportation of freight, or as a logistics provider. So if you are considering this field, these are some of the things to consider. How do you get shippers? And when you get shippers, what do you say to them, right? What is your script? What is your conversation? What services do you have to offer? So these are the things that we cover. We go over a little bit in the Freight Broker 101 training for beginners. These are the things for those people who are aspiring to be freight brokers that know very little, if anything, about freight brokering. That's the audience that we cater to help get you started. So if there's any questions in regards to that, I can give you about another 5 or 10 minutes for that. And we can go from there to see if we answer the questions. Those of you who are in that area, where are you in the process of applying for your broker license, right? Your operating authority as a freight broker, a broker of property, except household goods. So, right, let's figure out, come on here and give you some information, some tips, a little bit of guidance, and answer a few questions. And I see that Samantha had one about insurance. So insurance is personal credit. It's based off of personal credit again, because you're just getting started. You're just getting your business established, so you haven't built business credit up, right? So, and that's another thing too, to build the business credit, you want to establish some different accounts, some business accounts, net 30, net 60, net 15 accounts, trade lines, things of that nature to help establish business credit. And when you open up those accounts, you want to pay them before they are due. So, all right. Hello, Eric Vidal from Dallas, Texas. I am scheduled to be in Dallas tentatively around March of next year on the dispatcher side to do a weekend conference over there, a meet and greet. So, Rose said from Orlando, welcome Rose from Orlando. So any Any questions before we get off? I don't want to be on here too long without having any questions to answer. So if there aren't any questions, and you guys are subscribers to the channel, the Freight Broker One-on-One Training for Beginners, but I'm not sure how many of you actually have enrolled into the course to get training. So what are the first steps to start Freight Broker? Okay, I can't pronounce your name, but I see your question. Lyseth, what are the steps? What are the first steps to start Freight Broker? Well, the first step is you want to form your business. You want to get your entity created, your business name. I don't know what state. What state are you located in, Lyseth? So depending on the state, you want to create your business for that, either a business name, a articles of organization, and then get an LLC or whatever legal structure you want, and then attach an EIN to that. And then after that, you want to create or apply for an operating authority as a freight broker, as a broker of property. And you do that by going to the fmcsa.dot.gov website and registering with the OP1 form, which is the application for broker of property or motor carrier operating authority. And there's 8 sections on that OP1 form, 4 of which I believe applies to those who are applying for a broker of property authority. And section 2 of the 8 section actually talks about the type of operating authority that you would be applying for. There's 4 types on the carrier side. There's 2 on the broker side. And then there's the other 2. The last 2 are more like international. So yes, we do agent training, Rose. Chitaka says, hi all, I have everything except trying to figure out what type of insurance I need. I have been getting quotes and I know I'm supposed to CCI, but do I need general liability? So the extra insurance is not required, but it's recommended. So the main insurance you have is your bond coverage, your $75,000 bond coverage. Okay. That is a requirement because the bond is what protects it is coverage. The bond is what's used to protect your customers from your unethical behavior. Like as a broker, you may not do something that satisfies the shipper, or you may not do something that satisfies the carriers. Like, for example, you may not pay the carriers according to the terms of the broker carrier agreement. So the carrier can file a claim against your bond. So that's what the bond is for, is to protect the parties that's involved that you deal with. And you deal with 2 people, your shippers, customers, and your carriers, which are also your customers. So that's what the bond for. Now the CCI, the contingent cargo, general liability, errors and omissions, those are extra insurances that you can add to your brokerage, and it'll make you look good in front of the shippers. It'll show that you have a little bit more skin in the game when you're trying to procure freight from those shippers. But it's not technically required, but it's highly recommended to have as an extra coverage. So Rose says would like some background knowledge before getting broker license. Okay. What type of background knowledge are you referring to? Like the field itself, Rose? I'm not sure what you're asking there. Thanks for your time. Good content. Okay. Chicago's right. I have BMC 84. Okay. Yeah. So you have the 84, which is the surety bond, which is the $75,000 surety bond. What was your annual quote? What was your annual premium or your annual cost for that 84 Chicago Weekly, if you don't mind? And who did you get your bond through? What company? Because we have one on our platform, on our training, that's pretty good. Their annual rate was $750 based off of personal credit and other criteria, and they're pretty good. So if yours was lower than $750 for the year, then you're doing very well. So someone asked about, okay, she did around land surety. Okay, so you did around 1354. So it's based off of personal credit and other factors, mainly the personal credit, some other things, but 1354 is around a good to almost perfect credit score, or a decent to good credit score to get the 13. So you got land surety, bond solutions, JW surety, international sureties, all those companies. So the one that we use is international. And Jessica Palmieri is her name. She was in one of our trainings for our students, and she helped a few of our students get a rate of $750 for the year to get a $75,000 bond coverage. So, but as good as you have the 84 with land surety. So, someone asked about, are you doing any agent training? So agent training is, yes, we do it. We're mainly focusing on broker training, but agent training is nothing more than broker training under the authority of the broker. So an agent, a freight broker agent, works under the authority of a freight broker. They are not required to have all the requirements that a broker has, but they work under the broker at some type of commission split based off of their level of experience, whether it's call center, customer service, and whether or not they're coming into that brokerage with any customers or what's called a book of business. So depending on the terms of the freight broker / freight broker agent agreement, starting out, it may be a 50-50 commission split. In other words, if you come in as an agent and you have no book of business and no experience, that means the broker has to train you in their system and in their ways of and the processes of their brokerage. And then you're on the phone doing the cold calls and getting the customers over to the brokerage, sending out the broker shipper packets to the customers. And then once that information is sent back along, I forgot to mention too, a credit application is also part of the broker shipper packet. It's one of the contents in it. But anyway, the agent is doing mainly the cold calls, sending out the packets, and then when the shipper returns the paperwork to the brokerage takes it from that point and goes forward. I don't know if a broker will allow an agent who has no experience and no training as of yet to control the movement of that load. In other words, from the negotiation, from the lane quote or the acceptance of the load tender, all the way through to booking that load with a carrier. So if you're an agent who have no experience doing that, then your job would only be to bring a shipper to that brokerage and then let the broker finish it. It's like a relay race. Let them take the baton from the point that you bring the shipper in and run it all the way through to the finish line to the movement of that load. So that's for agents who have no experience, no book of business. Now, if you're coming in as an agent from another brokerage and you've moved loads before, now the game changes a little bit. So you may have control over the loads or the shippers that you bring to that brokerage. You may even have control over the movement of the freight. So it varies on the level of experience you have as an agent coming in. So what else? Looking through the comments here just to make sure there aren't any questions here. Rose says, okay, got it. I understand. Okay, great. So that's cool. Chikata said about the CCI. Okay. Do I need to send the shipper the credit app and notice of assignment, even if I have a factory company? Yes. So with that process, when you send out a broker shipper packet, it contains the broker shipper agreement. It contains a copy of your authority as a broker, your broker authority, your broker property authority that you got from the FMCSA, your broker license. It contains your bond information because you're proving to the shipper that you are who you say you are. If you are a broker, then what better proof than to send a copy of your authority and a copy of your bond coverage, the $75,000 bond, a W-9, And if you have extra insurance like liability, CCI, or E&O, you would send that. And then along with the credit app. So the credit application is where the factoring company has the broker fill that out and return it to them to run a credit check on, because shippers get credit checks ran on them as well. Because a factoring company is saying, hey, if there are any red flags with this shipper, we're not going to factor any of those load tenders. We're not going to, cover them, because we're trying to get our money as well. What guarantees do we have that we're going to get paid as a factoring company if there are red flags with the shippers? So we'll let you know via the credit app whether they are factorable, quote unquote, or not, right? And if they are factorable based off the credit application, it is then where the notice of assignment is sent in to them, so the assignment of payment will be changed from shipper to broker to shipper to factoring company. That's what the notice of assignment is redirecting the process of payment. But that comes after the factoring company checks the credit and verifies that the customer is good. So, okay. But yes, if you have a factoring company, and for new brokers, it's highly recommended to have factoring companies starting out, because you need revenue in order to pay your carriers for moving those loads for the shippers, so that you can continue to get loads from the shippers and build up your book of business and build up your revenue stream to the point where at some time you may not need the factoring company after that. And then once that contract ends, a year, 2 years, you can float your own monies because you have your own built up cash flow. But the factoring company assists you starting out, and they charge for that. They charge a percentage for that, and it's recourse or non-recourse. So there's different factors in there. Even with factoring companies, you might want to read the fine print before you decide on one to go with. So, and make sure that you understand the concepts, the UCC1, UCC2, the blanket liens and things like that against breach of contract, who they can go after and how they can go after them, things of that nature. Read the fine print. If you're deciding on a factoring company, make sure you read their contract and the fine print and understand what that stuff means before you decide to sign anything to go with a factoring company. Okay. So great question though. Okay, Chikata said she got that. So we go over all of this. I know you guys are YouTube subscribers to the channel, but I'm not sure how many of you, because I think I got about 3,000 members on the freight broker side. We have about 14, close to 15,000 on the dispatcher side, but the freight broker YouTube subscribers about 3,000. I'm not sure if there are any of you who are on this live tonight who are actually enrolled members in the actual platform, the back office training portal, Dispatcher 101. Freight Broker 101 training for beginners. So we have live trainings every Tuesday and Friday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And outside of the live, and they're recorded. And outside of the live trainings, there is a self-paced 3-module ongoing learn as you go back office portal online. Our live trainings are via Zoom. We have tools and resources, forms and documents. We have a couple of load boards back there that you as brokers can practice on. So it's a comprehensive training portal that you can enroll in, and your enrollment is up to a year from your enrollment date. So I'm not sure if you guys were aware of the existence of the training platform, not just the live here tonight, but the actual training platform. I think I put the link in here. Let me see if I got it here again. So there. Okay. All right. So we've been here 24, almost 25 minutes. That's good. Just wanted to get some questions out and some feedback. I will probably be making appearances on this live Freight Broker YouTube channel after the trainings or the next day to give you guys updates of what we covered that particular night. The last training we had, which was Friday, we went over the bond. We had a bond representative in the training from International Sureties, and she was going over what they offer in the for their bonds, what the requirements are, and things of that nature. So, all right. Any final questions, comments? And I'll put my information and my email here as well. If you have any questions, to reach out to me. There is my cell. And Chicada Weekly said, yeah, I'm set with Factory Company 2. I decided to go with recourse at 3%. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Only because they check all my shippers for free and they give shippers up to 90 days to receive payment from them. Okay. Okay. Hello, LaDonna. How are you? See, LaDonna's on the freight broker side. There's the email in there correctly. So there we go. So that's how you can get a hold of me, either by the phone or the email. And also in the we also have a Facebook group. Our Facebook, we have two Facebook groups. One is Freight Broker 101, which is for anyone to join, and then the other one is Freight Broker 101 members only. That's for enrolled members in the actual Freight Broker 101 training for beginners portal program. So, all right. But there's my contact information. Reach out if you want to inquire about the training, any questions about that. I want to grow this channel just as much and be in parallel to the dispatching side. The dispatching side, again, has, I think it's 14.5, close to 15,000 subscribers. This is around 3,000. So, okay, Chicada said you can call me Chi Chi, LOL. I listen. Okay, all right, Chi Chi. So, yeah, listen to you all the time. Okay, on the YouTube, I'm assuming on the YouTube channel, maybe on maybe a little bit on Facebook. So, yeah, it's just I haven't been broadcasting on the freight broker side. I'm building up the dispatching side to the point of automation, and then I'm going to come back over and focus building up the freight broker side to the same point. What I should have done, and I regret not doing it, is doing that in parallel together. But I got more traction starting off with the dispatching side, so I figured let me go ahead and nourish that and develop it. So, what's the dispatching YouTube channel? It is Dispatcher 101 training for beginners. Like this one is called Freight Broker 101 training for beginners. So the name is the same. It's just one is dispatching and one is freight broker. So Dispatcher 101 training for beginners is the dispatch YouTube channel. And then this one here, obviously, that you're with is Freight Broker 101 training for beginners. And the same for the Facebook channels or groups, I should say. Freight Broker 101 members only and Freight Broker 101. So, and then Dispatcher 101 and Dispatcher 101 members only. So the members only are for students who are enrolled students, ongoing students. So, okay. Any final questions? Close to 30 minutes. That's good. That's cool. So hopefully I answered the questions about the basic requirements of starting your brokerage. Probably next week or in our next live, we will probably go over some script calls, how to talk to shippers, what to say, how to respond to rebuttals, how to set up your back office infrastructure, the packet types, TMS systems, load boards, integrations between the two, the movement of a load when you receive a tender or you sign and accept a load tender from a shipper. And how does that process work? How do you change a load tender to a rate confirmation for the carrier? These are things as brokers, if you're going to be a broker, you need to understand that process. Okay. So it's not just getting the broker license and then just shutting down. If you're going to become a broker, then you want to understand the whole flow, the workflow, the whole process. So And then once you do it once and a few times, then it becomes second nature. The only thing that changes will be the customers that you get and the carriers that you have moving freight for those customers. And other things you might want to consider, like what would be your niche? What would be the types of customers you go after? Well, you have to consider the area of the country that you live in and the type of movement of freight and cargo that's in that area, like things that may go on dry vans or flatbeds or reefers, refrigerated goods, dry goods, lumber. So you have to consider the market in your area in order to consider the shippers to target. You can Google the manufacturers and the shippers in your area, and you can get a list of those customers. And again, too, when you call customers, you want to be a little bit educated and understand what their commodity is, what markets they're in. Go to their websites, educate yourself a little bit about them prior to calling them. You don't want to call a customer not knowing anything about them, completely green, right? Nothing. You call them and you say, hey, I just want to move some of your freight. If I was a customer and received a phone call like that, I would have said, well, what do we ship? You have any idea who are we? What's our commodity? What's our lanes? What do we do? Right. And then you're stuck. You're like, I don't know. So these are things you want to, as a broker, you want to forecast and prepare yourself ahead of time by understanding the people that you're going to eventually be dealing with, right? Your customers. So, okay, it's all about customer service. And if you have any call center experience too, then you're good at cold calling, things like that. So cold calling is not the only way to get customers. It's one way. You can also do social media, marketing and branding, Facebook ads, things of that nature. LinkedIn is good too. So Chi says, yes, Charles, I got all my software and didn't know how to connect what to what. I have Load Manager. So you have Load Manager as a TMS system. So out of the box, you got the lower version of Load Manager, I'm assuming. Yes or no, you can answer that. And was trying to learn the system. QuickBooks, trying to learn the system, fax machine, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So you got all the materials, whether hardware or software, you're just trying to piece everything together. So I get that. So Load Manager is a version of a TMS system. Another one is called Ascend. Another one is called Algex. Another one is called Axis, Load Pilot, eFreight Solutions. I can go on and on with TMS systems. So, but that's with TMS systems, you just want to get. So as a new broker, the key is to keep your overhead and your expenses low. So you want to get starting off the lowest level of TMS systems, the lowest level of load boards that you need that you can afford. And then as you grow your business and bring revenue in as a broker, then you can scale by getting more expensive equipment and more expensive software to match your scalability as you're growing and adding more shippers. So Chi said she just heard that Load Manager was good. Load Manager is good. It should have built-in API and EDI integrations. What that is, that's electronic data interchange that have a connection between the shipper and your brokerage, a two-way connection where the data, the load tenders, are transferred digitally as opposed to you entering them into your TMS system manually. So that's what EDI stands for, electronic data interchange, where things are done electronically. That's an expensive process. Most new brokers start off manually. The shipper will email you a tender to sign, agreeing to that lane quote that you may have successfully quoted for them. They'll send you the tender to sign to officially accept the load. And then once you sign that, now you're responsible for moving that load. So again, that's the process. It always has been the process. I believe it always will be the process. So, but so you are. It seems like Chi is moving in the right direction, getting everything she needs. She just have to put it all together. So, I don't know if any of you have had any formal broker training, or you're just doing it. You're just piecemealing everything together. I'm not sure if you had training with other trainers, or you're just going to YouTube University. I don't know how you're getting your training. I don't know who you're getting your training with, but hopefully you're getting everything that you need and all your questions are being answered to your liking. So, but again, I put my information there, my cell number and my email, and we're on this YouTube channel. Connect on the Facebook group. Not the members only group. You can't connect there unless you are an enrolled member, but you can connect to the freight broker one-on-one group. And sometimes I will allow guests to tune in to our live trainings on Tuesdays and Friday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it is there you can ask questions as well. So, but I usually announce that on the Facebook Freight Broker one-on-one group that I will allow guests in on this particular training or that particular training. So, all right, 35 minutes. We're going approaching 40 minutes now. So any other questions before we wind it down and get off? Just want to make sure. I did. I went through freight broker course. Okay, Chichi says you went through the freight broker course, which wasn't very informative at all. I can't still reach a real person. Well, I apologize for that. That seems to be a common theme that's going on these days. Even on the dispatcher side, when I speak to people who enroll in my course, they often tell me that the previous course, if they've taken one, that they will enroll, pay for something, but they can't reach the trainer. They can't talk to them. So me particularly, as a trainer and an instructor, I pride myself in being able to be available to the students. And I also pride myself on the freight broker side as well, being available to the students. Now I have less students on the freight broker side, close to 100, than I do on the dispatching side, over 1,200. So, but at any rate, I can't remember the last time a student on the dispatcher side said they reached out to me and they could not get a hold of me, whether it's phone, email, text, smoke signals, pigeon, however, right? So, but that's, as an instructor, you want to make sure that you are available to those who are providing, for you, right? As a show of appreciation. So if you're my students, even if email, I answer all my emails, I look at all my text messages, and I'm constantly on the phone. So, but it is what it is. If you put yourself in a position to be an instructor and to provide information and to assist people in their businesses, then you should attempt at least to be available. So she said, that's great. I've seen all your info, docs, and learning tools. You do a great job. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. I will continue to stay the course and hopefully get some more. I'm trying to push more membership on the freight broker one-on-one training for beginners side now, just like I have been doing on the dispatching side. So I want to nurture the freight broker side now. So I'm building that portal, adding content and value to that in such a way that people just can't say no, because the alternative to what they're getting is way, it's more informative than what they are currently receiving. So, but thank you for those words, Chi. I appreciate that. Any other questions before we go? Approaching 40 minutes, so it's more time than I anticipated being on here, which is cool. Gerard said, hi, I'm new. Okay, how are you, Gerard? Are you new to the channel, the Freight Broker One-on-One Training for Beginners channel, or are you new to becoming a freight broker? That would be my question to you, Gerard. So you're new. You say yes. So which one is it? Yes to the new to the channel, or yes to new to becoming a broker, or both? If you type both, then I will understand. And in either case, welcome to the channel, and welcome to your journey of becoming a freight broker. And if you are new to becoming a freight broker, where are you, Gerard, in the process of doing so? Where are you in the process of becoming a broker? Have you gotten your business already established? And then you are applying for your operating authority as a broker of property. Where are you in that process? So that'll be my question that I pose to you. So, okay, right at 40 minutes. Just want to make sure everything's good. Waiting for Gerard to type his response. And if anyone else has any questions before we get off, now is the time to type it in the chat here. We got a nice live stream chat going, questions and comments. So, all right. And I'll put my information in one more time because I know it's been a while because the comments have kind of pushed it forward a little bit. So there's the contact phone number and then the email coming shortly. There we go. So, okay. I did that because I'm ready to get off here. So, but thanks for the attendance. We have a few people in here. So, okay, Gerard says I'm new to your channel. Okay, cool. So, are you a freight broker, Gerard, or are you looking to become a freight broker, or where are you in that process? And welcome to the channel, by the way. Also, too, we're having a 10% off for the month of October enrollment special for members of the YouTube channel to join the training platform. So if you join, you get 10% off. Last month it was 20%. This month is 10%. October. So Gerard is a carrier. So what equipment type do you drive? And you work for a trucking company, or you're an owner operator? And what equipment type? Dry van, flatbed, reefer, box truck, hot shot, sprinter van, cargo van, power only, you name it, right? Do you have your own authority in DOT, truck and trailer? You know, what are your specs, if you will? And are you looking to transition into brokering? So yeah. Oh, box truck. Okay, so you LTL, partials, small runs here and there. You do a box truck, 26-foot box truck. So do you have a Toyota Hino with a 2,500-pound lift gate, international freightliner? You know, where are you located? You know, things of that nature. So I drove box trucks for 10 years. So I understand the market. I'm assuming you touch the freight, you know, lower it with a pallet jack down on the lift gate to the ground level, things of that nature. You're in New Jersey. Are you under Amazon? Are you under any other contracts? What have you? Wayfair. What else? There's some other ones out there. Amazon's pretty big. What's the other one? I forget the other one. You OTR. Okay, cool. All right. Well, all right, guys. I think that will be it. Say that it's hard for box trucks to get loads. In some instances, it is depending on the location where they are. And others, it may not be. The load boards, a specialized load board for box trucks is called Selectus or My Virtual Fleet. If you get in with some direct shippers, you should be fine. Or if you get in with Amazon Freight, I know Amazon Freight sucks starting out, and they have a performance matrix that they go by in order to give you better paying loads based off of your performance the first couple of weeks. Then it opens up. So you just have to be patient when it comes to Amazon, but their performance matrix is kind of strict though. So if it were me, I probably would not do it. I would go another route, like My Virtual Fleet, private load boards that specializes in box trucks, cargo vans, and sprinter vans. What's the other one? What is it? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't even think of it. And see, it's Amazon. Oh yeah, you got like mattress firms delivering for them. These little small mattress companies. IKEA. That's the one I was thinking about too. Yeah. So Amazon is my fuel money. Okay, well then, So there we go. So have you thought about moving up to the semis from the box trucks? Do you just have a Class B, or do you have a Class A commercial driver's license? Okay. All right. But yeah. Well, you have a lot to think about then with your box truck um, process there. So, all right. But welcome everybody to the 45 minutes now. We're going to be here in an hour before too long answering questions, but that's fine. I just wanted to come on and make myself available to the live. So this is our channel for the Exodus Logistics Learning Center for the Freight Broker One-on-One side of the YouTube channel. And we have a Dispatcher One-on-One side on the Dispatch on the YouTube channel too. So, but this particular channel is for freight brokers. For those who know very little, if anything, about being a freight broker from the very beginning, starting out, and then how to get your platform and your foundation established, and then build from that. Okay. So again, Gerald says he's not really interested on the larger side. You can make more money on those on the semis, the tractor trailers. So, do brokers need a factoring company? LaDonna asks. Very good questions. I would say yes. Starting out, because if you don't have a factoring company, how will you pay the carriers except waiting for the shippers to pay you? And shippers' payment processes are like 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. So if you got a carrier who just moved a load for you, they're not willing to wait that long to get paid. They want to get paid that same day, next day, maybe a few days later. They cannot afford to wait such a long time according to the payment terms of the shipper. They rely on you, Mr. Broker, to pay them sooner. So brokers get factoring companies to leverage having all that upfront money and offer it in the form of like quick pay and 5 to 7 day ACH wire transfers. And they leverage the expense of using the factoring company to roll it into a service for the carriers through quick pay, and they'll charge 5% to help offset the expense of having the factoring company and paying for that recourse factoring or non-recourse factoring. So yes, as new brokers, it is highly advisable to get a factoring company if you want to keep your carriers happy who are moving the loads for your customers who are the shippers. Okay. Very good, though. Very good question. So, all right. We good? Very good. Any more questions before we get off? 48 minutes. Pretty good. Not bad. Wanted to spend some time on the freight broker side. I spent a lot of time on the dispatching side. I can guarantee if I open up dispatching channel tonight and go live, it's probably going to flood because we just had a dispatching training earlier today, and we had over 100 participants in the Zoom call. What is this thing about selling invoices? I don't know. What is it? Selling invoices. Factoring companies purchases the invoices and then leverage that by paying for it, but not sure. Something that I don't know about is going on. Why is the insurance so high when we aren't even operating the truck? You're speaking from a broker's perspective. So why is the insurance so high when we're not operating the truck? Your bond is your insurance starting out, but then if you decide to get optional insurance, the highness of it could be based off of your personal credit. So, okay. So we got somebody posting some crazy comments in here. I don't see that, but all right. So and then what else? I'm getting quotes around 500. This is for contingent cargo and general liability. It could be based off of credit. It could be based off of personal credit because you haven't established a business yet. You haven't established business credit. You haven't established your business to build up your business credit. So yeah. If they have 1.5 worth of cargo, we need to be able to cover that if something happens. So part of that cargo, so if it's a high value cargo on there, then that's a special circumstance. Generally, it's not going to be too high, but if there are special circumstances where the shipper has high dollar and high value freight, then it's good to have insurance to cover that, to move that freight at that point in time. Those are called one-offs. It doesn't happen a lot, but those are called one-offs, and you just have to have the coverage at that time to cover that. But typically, liability is $1 million. If your carrier has liability and you have liability, that's $2 million right there, so that should cover it. But cargo is usually 100,000. I can't see. I mean, I guess if there has been cases where there's been $1 million worth of cargo on a trailer hauled, but I'm not sure how that would work with it would have to be a special circumstances where the shipper says, well, we're going to have this is a high value type of freight, so we're going to need additional coverage to make sure to substantiate this transport in order for you to win this bid. If that happens, then you as a broker can negotiate more money from that shipper. So you can negotiate those, especially the surety. Yeah. So the higher the value of the cargo, then the more you can negotiate a better rate from your shipper as a broker, because the shipper is requiring you to have more insurance coverage on that cargo. So that should warrant you trying to get more money out of that load. Well, it shouldn't warrant you. You should already be getting more money out of that load because the shipper has a high value. They're going to want to spend enough money in order to get you to move that freight. So I have my surety bond already. It's the contingent cargo and general liability to cover me before a shipper say they won't work with me. It's so expensive. I might as well get another cargo. Well, so I guess the shippers that you're talking to are requiring CCI and general. There are shippers who don't require that. If you have it, it just shows that you have extra skin in the game. It's not a requirement for your broker license. It's supplemental to have if you can afford it. So let's say you get shippers who don't require it and you get those shippers under contract and you start moving loads for them and you generate revenue for them. And then later on, you decide to add CCI, contingent cargo, and general liability to go after the other money shippers that require that type of insurance in order to win their freight. You can kind of do it like that. So court for short said I negotiated my surety bond from $1,285 to $900 annually. That's pretty good. We have a bond company that's a sponsor or a representative on our training platform that their annual is $750. So we got $750 annually for the $75,000 bond, court for short. But yours is pretty good too, $900. So those are good. If it's under $1,000, if $1,000 or less is pretty good. That means your credit is pretty nice, and your other qualifiers for the bond is pretty nice. So, but yeah, congratulations on that. So, do you have any customers? Do you have any shippers yet? Court for short. Okay, praying for them. Okay. Do you have your back office infrastructure set up? In other words, do you have you started on the 14th. Oh, 2 days ago. Okay. Well, congratulations. Your broker license is active. Your authority is active since the 14th. So so as far as the shippers, Chi Chi asked, should I ask first what insurance do they require me to have before I move the load? That could be a good question for the shipper. So if you're talking to shippers and you're having a good conversation and you think you can send them your shipper packet, you can pose that question. What insurance do you require of me before we move the load? Do you have any special requirements as far as insurance, Mr. Shipper? And they may say, no, we don't. Outside of you having a bond, not really. No, as long as the carrier that you're brokering this load through have insurance, $100,000 cargo and $1 million liability, we're fine. We don't have the high dollar freight. It's just general freight. Or you may get a situation where a shipper says, we might require you to have CCI on top of the carrier's liability. On top of the carrier's cargo because our cargo is about 250,000. So if your carrier has 100,000, then you're probably going to need 150,000 to cover our cargo in order to win our contract with us. So that's a good point, Chichi. Yeah, you may want to consider asking during the conversation with the shipper prior to winning that contract with the shipper, hey, what are your insurance requirements? Or what are your requirements when it comes to insurance for us to broker your freight? And then see what they say. That'll kind of give you an understanding of what you need at that point. So, and also remember too, guys, you can list yourself as a certificate holder on any of your carriers that you have approved for your brokerage, right? You can list yourself as a certificate holder on their certificate of insurance. I don't know if you were aware of that, but that's also a possibility too. For those of you who do not want to get the extra insurance outside of your bond, you could be listed as a certificate holder. So when it comes to things like claims and stuff like that, they'll go after the carrier's insurance prior to coming after you, the broker. And since you are a certificate holder, that'll be the order of operation. Yes, that is. Yeah. So if you look on any certificate of insurance, at the bottom left-hand side, there's a big block that says certificate holder. So, right. Okay. So that's what that part is for. Yes. A broker can list themselves as a certificate holder on the carriers who they have under their brokerage. If they are an approved carrier under your brokerage, in other words, you got them set up with your brokerage, with your approval processes, you sent them the broker carrier agreement, they fill that out, they return that to you along with copies of their MC authority, their W-9 certificate of insurance, and their credit app for you. They have a certificate of insurance that they sent to you so that you could vet them out and approve them for your brokerage. At the bottom of that certificate of insurance on the left-hand side, there's a block that says certificate holder. All you have to do is contact the agent on that certificate and let them know that, hey, we need to be listed as a certificate holder. And they will verify the policy number that is one of their clients. They may even call the carrier and say, hey, we got a broker asking to be made a certificate holder. Carrier may say, yeah, that's fine. We're trying to book this load, so let's go ahead. And all they're going to do is put the name of your brokerage, street address, city, state, and zip, and then send you the copy of it so you'll have it in your possession. So it basically protects you in the event of claims. So if there's a claim filed against the carrier's insurance for something that's the fault of the carrier, then you protect yourself. So does the carrier ever say no when asking to be added? If they do, then you as a broker can just say, hey, well, we can't broker you this load. That's one of our requirements as a brokerage. We need to be listed as a certificate holder. Prior to booking this load with you, Mr. Carrier, giving you this load, Mr. Carrier, we need you to list us, our brokerage, ABC Brokerage, 123 Main Street, Anywhere USA, 12345, as a certificate holder. So not necessarily do we need to have them add us as additionally insured too. No, they're not going to be you're not going to be under the carrier's insurance. You're just going to be a certificate holder. So, okay. All right. We're right at 60 minutes, guys. Great questions. Now, you guys are starting to open up as we get on here more time, right? So now we're at an hour. So but those are good questions. We go over this in the training, in our ongoing training for members. So for those of you who have not had formal broker training or not had broker training that breaks things down very thoroughly and detailed, you may want to consider or reconsider some formal training. So where it's by individuals who've been through this and have other individuals who've been broke. My mentor has been brokering for over 30 years. I have carriers who've been over here for 30 years. So we have the answers, right? We know what we are speaking of. So but we're right at an hour, guys. I just wanted to introduce myself. I am the channel owner, if you will, of this channel, Freight Broker One-on-One Training for Beginners. So yeah, I just need to find shippers now. Well, there are shippers out all over the place. Shippers are all over the place. Your biggest resource, your biggest free resource is Google, right? Google shippers or manufacturers in your area, and I can guarantee you're going to pop up with at least 50 to 100 of them right there. And then you can click their websites if they have a website, and then go on there and see what their products are, their services are, and educate yourself prior to calling them. Get a logistics manager or a shipping manager's name, connect with them on LinkedIn. If they connect back with you, that's a warm lead. Then you could put a note in that connection and then start that conversation, letting them know who you are and what services you provide as a freight broker, as a logistics provider, as someone who arranges for the transportation of freight. So that's a way in. Cold calling, social media, ads, marketing, promotions, branding. So if you're going to be a broker, you have to sell yourself. You have to put yourself out there, right? And you have to utilize every source available out there. Look at your competitors or look at other people in other spaces in business and see what they're doing to get customers. Follow their business model. Look at examples of different restaurants or different other companies. Follow their business model. Mimic what they are doing that's successful, especially the successful ones. Find out what their business model is and see if you can emulate that or duplicate it. So, okay. So Court for short and Chichi are trying to connect. So go ahead and connect, guys, before I get off. You guys can provide your information to one another. So Court, I think Court is a carrier, I believe. Right, Court? I think you are a carrier. Oh, you're a broker. So 2 brokers. So just don't double broker. Don't double broker. You can co-broker, but don't double. Right? Very good, guys. Glad to see you guys on here. Hopefully I would see some of you consider enrolling into our ongoing training for the year to get access to our load boards in the back office, to get access to our live trainings twice a week, every week, and they're recorded. So you can go back and watch them if you missed them, to get access to our templates, our broker shipper templates, our broker carrier templates, to get access to the TMS, to the different packet types, to the forms and documents. And we have a ton of, I've forgotten all the tools and resources. We got so much back there that we have available. So just check it out. And so, yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for listening in. So if we sign up for class, will we work with you on the broker side? So all I do now is train. I don't broker, I don't dispatch, but I train you on how that's done. We have brokers in our training who are looking for either agents or assistants with their brokerages. We have brokers who are at different levels. Students who are just starting as brokers, students who are waiting for their license to be approved and come to them, and students who are brokering with shippers. So everybody's at different stages. So it's like a family, if you will, a network where we share ideas and concepts with each other. So, and we help those who are at certain stages come to the next stage, the next level. So it's a family environment. I don't want to say how much I was making because it's scary. So, and I was under several large companies. So actually also a freight forwarder too. So, okay. I will put the link. Great. What is the cost? there. So let's just say I'm working on my second million. The first million didn't work. So, all right. All right, guys. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. With hour 5 minutes, it's a lot of time. That's good. It's good. Got some traffic, got some feedback. Again, hopefully I will be coming on the lives. At least I'm going to try and attempt to come on after every live trainings if I can. If it depends on how tired I am for that day. Our live trainings for the freight broker training for beginners are Tuesdays and Friday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have guests come on too from different companies, like a bond company, a process company, factoring companies, to come in and talk about the services, talk about the concept of those things. So yes. Yes, you do pick up your phone. Yes, I do. Whip Evans, I'm assuming you've called me already. So yes. So anybody can call the phone. It's right here. I pick it up. It's actually on the charger, charging back. Well, it's actually 100% now, so I charge it twice a day because every time I talk, it goes down and I have to recharge it and stuff like that. So, but yes, I pick my phone up, and if I don't, I return the call. And if there's a voicemail, I respond to that. If there's a text, I respond to that. So, okay. But thanks again, guys. Salute to you guys. God bless you. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourselves. And I'll talk to you later. Okay. Man, why don't you put your stuff on Apple Podcasts? We're waiting for that, please. Okay, Apple Podcasts. I don't trust the Apple products, but I will look into that. So, all right. Till then, enjoy your weekend, guys. Be safe out there, and good luck to your brokering.